In this demonstration, we're going to take you through how you can use the new quarantine feature of CluedIn. Think of this as a way to set up rules to stop data moving out of your staging environment into your MDM production environment. So let's upload a brand new file. I've got some employee data here, and we're going to put it under a folder called sensitive. File's uploaded. Let's go take a peek. We've got 100 rows. We're missing a mapping. So we can see a preview of our data. We can already see there's some holes in the data. For example, this person is missing a first name. Let's go and customize the columns and also include all different fields so we can see in our preview. And if I just expand my browser here, you can also see that I've got the full name of Winona, but I'm missing the first name. So we might want to set up a rule that if a person doesn't have a first name, it should stay in the staging environment, even though we have the mapping. Now, in saying this, CluedIn is a system that's built to, even though we might send this data from a staging environment through to the production environment, we've got tools to be able to fix it once it's in production as well. In this case, we're just going to quarantine before it gets into the platform. Make sure you have your quarantine feature enabled under the administration feature flags. Let's head and map the data. We're going to do an automated mapping, and we're going to say that this is an employee. Now, the concept of an employee doesn't exist yet, but we can create this on the fly. Let's also do the same with the vocabulary. Create that on the fly as well. You can see the columns that are originating from the file that we just dragged on and what it's going to be called in the CluedIn platform. We can always change these later if we want. Let's create a brand new mapping. Let's head to edit our mapping. And let's change the entity name to show the full name of the record here. You can see that it's automatically detected the ID and the email's unique ways to refer to these employees. So I'm finished with my mapping for now. Let's head over to our pre-process rules. I'm going to add a brand new rule that says quarantine if first name does not exist. In this case, we can add a filter where a key does not exist. In this case, it's going to be the employee dot first name. You don't need a value. So where the vocabulary key for first name is not met, then let's quarantine this record. You can see that you can use these pre-processing rules for all different types of actions, like removing a particular entity code, or maybe removing another key, or maybe setting the value of a property. In this case, we're just going to explore the quarantine feature. Let's add this rule. Let's go to process, and let's process this data into the platform. So we've got 100 records that are going to be pushed, but our quarantine rules should capture a few of them. So let's wait until our progress is finished. You can see that 93 records have been successfully pushed through to the platform, and I've got 7 that are left in quarantine. So let's head over to quarantine. We can see that our 7 records are here waiting for us to do something about. If we go and search, we can also see that the other employees are starting to make their way into the platform. And if we look at the first name, you can see, well, they're all the records that had a first name. Let's go back. So in here, we can see that we can make changes to our values before we want to push it in. So for example, we can go and make our addition to our first name, or we can just go ahead and push these records directly into the platform. So let's go ahead and approve that Winona gets pushed into the platform. Let's refresh. And you can see that Winona is now being pushed into the CluedIn platform. If we're wanting to do this in bulk, we can just select all of these, reprocess our records, refresh the screen, and our records are now out of the quarantine environment and pushed into the production environment.